Good afternoon, ladies and gents. For those of you who don't know me, and they might count themselves lucky, my name is Rick Butler. I'm the Senior Managing Director of International Investments in Pacific, which resides in God's own country at the bottom of Asia. And I'm part of the Global Capital Markets team for CBRE. Before I start, I'd just say it's 2 o'clock in the morning in Seoul, so it's reasonably late. I've just arrived after some time in Shanghai and Beijing, but it's obviously my pleasure to put myself on the stage and help with this presentation, if I can. To begin with, my apologies for two things. Firstly, intruding on your upmarket presentation today, and secondly, not being able to be with you in person or on a conference call. The reason for this is that I'll be on a plane between Seoul and Tokyo at the time you're doing your presentation, and what I'll be doing is most relevant to what you are talking about today. The trip I've been doing now is through Malaysia, Singapore, Korea, Hong Kong, Shanghai, Beijing, Tokyo. So it's a massive trip, and then I move on to EMEA, and I'm actually marketing a building for $550 million with a 32-year weighted lease expiry. So I'll be digging out a lot of very interesting people, which is germane to the task at hand for Simon & Co. Let me give you a few insights as to what's happening in the region here, which will no doubt resonate with what you're seeing driving the London market right now. Firstly, with mainland China, we're seeing a lot of state-owned enterprises, major insurers really wanting to break out, and the groups that come to mind are China Merchants, who've just been over with our team a week or so ago, Sunshine Insurance, a major player offering on a lot of properties around the region, Taiping Insurance, Ping An Insurance, who bought the Lloyd's of London building. So there's a lot of these companies, and they're seeking to get a balance on the overheated markets and in their own home markets. Korea, you've obviously got the usual players: NPS, GEPS, Post, and so on, and they would seem to be starting to get going again. Taiwan, you may or may not know, but there's been the insurance companies are being ordered to invest outside because they can't get a return in Taiwan. And I could go on about Malaysia, which is obviously an asset-rich country with big super funds, big pension funds. So there's a lot of specific drivers around the region. Coming back to the purpose of today, Simon has shared with me under the NDA the details briefly on the asset we're talking about, and it doesn't take a brain surgeon to state that the asset will be extremely well sought after. The element that I believe very strongly that we can bring to the table is a completely unrivaled set of relationships within the highest echelons of decision makers throughout Asia. This is brought together and harnessed through our international network, which, as you, I believe, know, work extremely closely with our European colleagues to make sure that we drive value and secure execution, which in this part of the world is absolutely a key focus for us. And I'll give you a classic example. When HSBC on-sold the HSBC building in Canary Wharf after the default of the Spanish, we marketed the building, and two or three of the top purchasers were brought to my attention, and the rest is history, because NPS bought that building for over £700 million and Aurora in Sydney for $685 million. So that shows you real connectivity between our groups across border. I really look forward to working with you guys, and particularly you, Uli, and the team on this exciting project. And please do let me know if there's any specific questions, and permission to go to bed now. Good night.